Good morning, students. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, before I start today's class, we'll just, for a few minutes, we will recapitulate what we have studied yesterday. Okay? So, do you have anyone is having any queries regarding the last class? Anyone wants to know anything about the last class? So, all are unmuted. You can speak. 42, can you hear me? 142. 142. Roll number 4. Can you hear me? Logged in and roaming in the room. Roll number 26. 26. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any queries? Yesterday's class?
No,
Anything?
sir.
No. Okay. Tell me what we studied yesterday. What did you learn yesterday? 1 point.
Sir, ECG lead 12 conventional ECG, location of 10 ECG, and the correlation about the Anthropian triangles,
Okay.
anatomical correlation of all the leads,
Hmm.
precordial leads,
Hmm.
and after that, the last mastering of ECG, waveforms, segments, intervals.
Hmm. So, what is segment?
Sir, 3 segments are there: PR, ST, TP segments.
Okay. How these segments are called? Why these are called segments? Okay. Anyway, you have to read the book.
Yes, sir.
What now we are discussing is just the basics. Now we have not gone into the complex. These are all normal things. So today, till yesterday's module 1 and 2, they were based only on the basics of CCG, right? So today we will little bit what I should say, we will start interpreting the. So the first thing for ECG interpretation, what is required, we will discuss on that part today. Okay. So before that, what we studied yesterday, we will just have a recapitulation on that. Okay. So the last lesson was regarding the ECG machine, how the leads connecting the different parts of our body, that is the right arm, left arm, and then the other parts. So the second part was what we studied was Anthropian's triangle, that is lead 1, lead 2, and lead 3. And then we studied the different waveforms, then segments and intervals. So this is what we studied yesterday, right? So today we will start discussing about the rate and rhythm. So what is rate and what is rhythm? So this is what we are going to discuss today. The first learning objective is calculation of heart rate from an ECG, and this ECG calculation of heart rate is for both regular and irregular rhythms seen in an ECG. And the second learning objective is to determine the rhythm. See, in practice, basically we have to see the rhythm first rather than calculating the heart rate. In most of the books, you will find that the first step in interpreting the heart ECG is the heart rate. But what I suggest you to look for, first thing in the ECG to look for is the rhythm. If the rhythm is regular, then you can choose calculation of heart rate, a simple method. If the rhythm is irregular, then you have to choose some another method to calculate the heart rate. So that's why the first step in interpreting ECG is the determination of the rhythm and then the heart rate. But here I am first telling you how to interpret the calculate the heart rate first. Okay. Now this is an ECG which you have seen in day-to-day life. Yesterday also I have shown you. Here you can see the lead 1 here, then this is the lead 2, then this is lead 3, then this is AVR, AVL and AVF. That is lead 1, lead 2 and lead 3. These are known as standard limb leads. And AVR, AVL and AVF, these are known as your augmented limb leads. Then we have 6 chest leads, that is V1, V2, V3, V4, V5 and V6. And along with these, you will find one panel below these 12 leads, 3 leads, that is V1, lead 2 and V5. In some ECGs, instead of V5, you can find V6. But in most of the ECGs, you will find only one. Instead of 3 rhythm strips, you will find only one. And that is usually your lead 2. You don't find V1 or V5. So most of the time, these settings can be changed in the ECG machine itself. Sometimes we can make it all these 6 leads as a rhythm strip also. So this is your digital ECG machines. Before the digital ECG machines, there were manual ECG machines. Now the first question is, when we see this ECG, we ask, the first question is, what is the heart rate? Now what is the heart rate? To answer this question, determine the time between two QRS complexes. Yesterday I told you what is QRS complex. So to answer this, what is the heart rate, we have to determine first the time between 2 QRS complexes. So this QRS complexes is determined on the paper speed. Now ECG has got some speeds, like your car has got 10, 20, 30, 40. At what speed you are driving. If you are driving at a higher speed, you will reach your destination earlier than if you are driving at a slower speed. So similarly, we have to calculate the heart rate based on the ECG's speed. So that speed, usual speed is, if we do not talk about the speed, that means it is understood that we are talking about the speed of ECG as 25 millimeter per second. Now, as the ECG machine which I have shown is a digital ECG. Therefore, in these digital ECGs, you will find the ventricular rate here. So you can see the ventricular rate described here. See, the ventricular rate here is 87 beats per minute. And below that, you can see PR interval is there, QRS interval is there, QT, QTC interval, PR. So in all modern ECG machines, all these rates are determined according to some algorithms set in the ECG machine itself. Now, before we learn how to determine the rate, we have to know something about the ECG machine, ECG paper. So you can see these ECG papers. This is the grid. One broad grid is there. Then you can see 5 light straight lines. So forming a small box. This is this small box, and 5 small boxes horizontally comprises a big box. So 5 into 5, 25 boxes are there. So this comprises a big box. So a small box, the speed is the time in millisecond. 1 millimeter is equal to, this small box is 1 millimeter, and that is equal to 0.04 seconds. If we consider these 5 small boxes, then this is 5 millimeter and the time taken is 0.2 seconds. So this is the speed, that means 25 millimeter per second. When we say the ECG machine is set at 25 millimeter per second, we mean that one small box goes at a speed of 1 millimeter, and that 1 millimeter is covered over a period of 0.04 seconds. Similarly, when we say these 5 boxes are covered, small boxes, or one large box is covered, means 5 millimeters. So this 5 millimeter is covered in 0.2 seconds. Similarly, this time or speed is on the horizontal line, and when we see on the vertical line, then again the small box is 1 millimeter. That means that is 0.1 millivolt. So when we go upwards, this is millivolt, and when we go horizontally, it is seconds. So the same distance, 1 millimeter horizontally, is time, and when it is gone upwards, it is millivolt. So 10 millivolt is equal to, 10 millimeter is equal to 1 millivolt. Okay. Now we have to determine the heart rate in the ECG. Now what you require? You require an ECG machine. Then you have to decide whether this ECG machine is the speed is 25 millimeter, or we have the second option is at 50 millimeter per second. So you have to choose between these two. Default is 25 millimeter per second, and if you need higher speed, then you have to set this ECG machine at 50 millimeter per second. So conventionally we take all the ECGs at 25 millimeter per second. Now for calculation of heart rate, we are taking the default one. That means the ECG is set at 25 millimeter per second. Now you see here in this case, now the first one small square is equal to how much? This is 0.04 seconds. Now if we take 5 small squares, these 5 small squares constitutes one large square. So this large square is 5 into 0.04 is 0.02. So these 5, next is if we take 5 large squares, so this equals to 1 second. That means if we take 5 large squares, so that constitutes 1 second. So the number of complexes here in 1 second can be multiplied by 60 seconds, and then we can calculate the heart rate. This is one method. And the other method is we can again calculate based on the large squares, we can calculate based on the small squares. So based on these, we have different methods of calculation for heart rate. Now in ECG rhythm strip, what happens? So there are 250 small squares are there, which is equal to 50 large squares, and that constitutes our 10 seconds. So to calculate beats per minute, we have to take 1500 small squares, or we have to take 300 large squares. So these 1500 small squares or 300 large squares is equal to 1 minute. That means we have to transfer this information to the calculation of heart rate. So as I said, we have the ECG machine runs at a speed of 25 millimeter. That means 25 millimeter is equal to 1000 milliseconds, and this 1000 milliseconds is equal to 1 second. So this much distance is 1 second. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 large boxes is equal to 1 second. Now the distance covered here, one box is 1 millimeter, and when 5 small boxes is 5 millimeter. That means at speed of 25 millimeter, it is 40 milliseconds, small box, and large box is 200.
అటు కూర్చో చెమట పోస్తుంది.
So why we use 50 millimeter per second? Now you see here is one ECG tracing here. You can see this is the P wave, this is the QRS complex, this is the T wave, but I'm not able to see the P wave here. Now the speed of the machine is 25 millimeter per second. Now if you make this run at a 50 speed, then you see this ECG is running at 50 millimeter per second, and this first complex is the same one. The next one is almost double. The distance is doubled in speed 20 millimeter per second. Now you can see there is some merged P waves here. So what is the idea of doing P waves, taking ECG at 50 millimeter per second? Now you see, doubling the standard rate can reveal subtle ECG findings hidden at a slower rate. That means P waves which were not visible on 25 millimeter per second are now visible at a speed of 50 millimeter per second, and thus we are able to diagnose flutter waves which is in 2:1 block. So this is the usefulness of taking an ECG at 50 millimeter per second. So what happens when we take speed at 50 millimeter per second? You see the 1 millimeter distance is covered in 20 milliseconds. In 25 speed, it is covered at 40 milliseconds. Now the 5 millimeter distance is covered in 100 milliseconds. That means this is also reduced. So now if we compare, see the comparing 25 millimeter and 50 millimeter. 1 millimeter distance here 40 milliseconds. At 50 it is 20 milliseconds. Similarly, the 5 millimeter distance is covered in 200 milliseconds at a speed of 25 millimeter per second, whereas the same 5 millimeter distance is covered in 100 milliseconds when the speed of the machine is set at, paper speed is set at 50 millimeter per second. That means when we increase double the speed of the machine, paper speed, the 1 millimeter small box is covered at a faster speed. Okay. So similarly the duration is also, instead of 0.4 second, it becomes your 0.2 seconds, and a large square is covered in 0.1 second rather than at 0.20 second when it is at 25 millimeter per second speed. Now, as I said, we have 300 boxes, 1500 boxes, small boxes 1500, large boxes 300. So based on that, the rule of 300. Now let us see, the x-axis is your time, y-axis is millivolt, that is voltage. I have already shown you. So x-axis is time and y-axis is volt. Now this small box is 1 millimeter equal to 40 milliseconds. Now we are considering 25 millimeter only. The paper speed in subsequent all the classes will be 25 millimeter per second. So you forget about the 50 millimeter per second. Now 5 boxes means one big box is equal to 5 millimeter, and that is equal to 200 milliseconds. Now beats by minutes, beats per minute. How many beats per minute? That is what our task is now. So this is 60 by 1 minute into 5 big boxes by 1 second. 1 beat by big boxes, number of big boxes. So this comes out to be heart rate beats per minute, that is 300. So this time taken needed for 1 minute is 60 seconds, and the 5 big boxes. So in 1 second, 5 big boxes are covered. So 5 into 660 is 300, and the number of big boxes between the beats. So this is how to measure. That means, let us take one example here. Now here you can see that a big box is 5, 1, 1, 2, 3. So in between here, how many big boxes are there? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So 300 by 3. So now you see 300 by 3. So how much is 100? So here 1, 2, 3. You see start point is this and this is the end point. Here it is 100. So the heart rate is 100. So this method, the 300 rule, is very quick, fairly accurate, and requires no special tools or calculations. But only one thing you have to remember, that for 3, if 3 big squares is there, then it is 100. If 4 big squares is there, then it is 75. If 5 big squares are there, it is 60. So like that. So this cannot be used with irregular rhythms. That is what I told you in the beginning. You must know the rhythm first. If you do not know the rhythm, then the method which you are utilizing for determination of rate may yield you wrong heart rate. So in this rule of 300, what you have to do is, first you find an R wave located on a bold line. So this is here a bold line. This is the large box, and this is the bold line. So this is the point where you have to start. Then find the next consecutive R wave. So this is the next consecutive R wave. Bold line, it falls on or closest to this line. So this represents the heart rate. So number of boxes in between, 1, 2, 3. So 300 divided by 3 is 100. Now let us see in this example again. So you can see here. So let us take this rhythm strip. How many boxes are there here? 1, 2, and 2.5. See, this is, we will take it as 3. So heart rate is equal to 300 by 3 is equal to 100 beats per minute. Now similarly here in this case, you can see the number of boxes: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the heart rate is 300 by 8 is equal to 38 beats per minute. So this is the rule of 300. Now, who will tell us this here? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Roll number 37. Now you are seeing one ECG on your screen. Can you tell me the heart rate? What is the heart rate here?
150, sir.
150. So how many big boxes are there?
2.
2. So 300 by 2 is 150.
50.
Okay. Actually, that is written there is wrong. 300 by 2 is 150. It is not 100. Sorry for the mistake here. Now, to determine this, now if you can remember certain things, then it is always easy to diagnose, calculate the heart rate. So here, if one big box is there, then the heart rate is approximately 300. If 2 big boxes, it is 150. If 3 boxes are there, then it is 100. If 4 boxes, 75. 5 boxes, 60, 50. And lastly, if 7 boxes are there, then it is 43. So at least you should remember this up to 650. Okay. So this is the rule of 300. That means big boxes between two RR intervals. Now, in the beginning, I said when you find out a QRS complex which coincides with the bold line. So if the second R wave does not fall on a bold line, the heart rate is approximated. Suppose here it is in between. So if it is in between means the heart rate will be between 75 and 60. If it falls between fourth and fifth bold line, the heart rate is between 60 and 75 beats per minute. Now, if the second R wave falls in between two bold lines, the heart rate can be more precisely determined using the identified values for each thin line. Now, you see here, so this is the big bold line is marked at 300, 150, 100, 75, 60, 50, 43, 38, and 33. Now, if we see here, the first one is, this one is 300, and after that this part is 250, then this is 214, this is 187. So this is a scale which can be prepared, but this is cumbersome to remember, so usually we do not do that. So what is the disadvantage? The rule of 300 cannot be applied when the ventricular rhythm is irregular. So this cannot be applied in atrial fibrillation, atrial flutter. So what we can do? Now we will come to that, what method to be employed when the heart rate is irregular. So the rule of 300 is over. Now we will take up the rule of 1500. Now from where this 1500 has come? Now 300 big boxes. So each big box consists of 5 small boxes. Okay. So 300 into 5 is how much? This is 1500. So now you have to calculate the small boxes. So this is more accurate and requires no special tools, but math calculation must be done to determine heart rate. This is again cannot be used with irregular rhythms. So count the number of small squares between two consecutive R waves and divide by 1500 by that number. So in this case, the ECG paper must be at 25 millimeter per second when we utilize the 1500 method. So the heart rate, that is beats per minute, is 25 millimeter per second into 60 seconds per minute divided by number of squares. So the 25 into 60 means it is 1500 by number of squares. So here let us see how many boxes are there. The start point is here. This is the QRS complex which is coinciding with the first board line. So from here then to here. So here in between these two you have to count the small boxes. So this big box means 5 boxes, here another 5, 10, sorry. So between these two there are 38 boxes. So 1500 divided by 38, the rate comes to be around 40 beats per minute. Now determine the heart rate using the 1500 method. Now you calculate and tell me. Who is going to tell me? Roll number 49. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Tell me, what is the heart rate here? So how many big boxes? 1, 2,
6,
4, 5, 6. 6 into 5 is
30,
30. And this
5.
how many are there? 1, 2, and this side 3, 4,
35.
almost 5. So 35. 1500 by
40.
30 is
43 beats per minute.
around 40 beats per minute. Yes. So this is how you will calculate in whenever there is, if 300 method cannot be implemented, then you can use 1500 method. So here, how many? Again, the same thing here. That means you see this from here to here. In the ECG, what you see in ECG is 2.5 seconds. So in rhythm strip, you have to see this rhythm strip is of 10 seconds. So in this rhythm strip, you will find how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means total number of QRS complexes is 17. So this is your rule of 10 seconds. See, earlier we discussed about rule of 300, then rule of 1500. Now that is boxes. Now we are coming to seconds. That means in the ECG paper, the lead 1 is recorded for 2.5 seconds, whereas the rhythm strip records your 10 seconds. So in 10 seconds, how many QRS complexes are there? Now here, there are 17 complexes are there. So 17 into 6, how much that is? This comes out to be around 102 beats per minute. That means the rule of 300 and rule of 1500 cannot be applied to irregular heart rates, but this rule of 10 seconds can be applied for irregular heart rates. So here the number 22 complexes are there. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 22 complexes here. So this is 22 into 6 is 132 beats per minute. So this is how we calculate the heart rate by rule of 10 seconds. Now we can also calculate the heart rate using rate calculators. These are available in the market. So you can use these rate calculators and you have to put this calculator at the QRS complex and then measure the distance. And based on the second complex, the rate is written on the scale and you can identify that one. So this is very easy to use but not always available and ineffective on irregular rhythms where a consistent baseline is not present. Position the start mark on R wave and then find the next consecutive R wave where it lines up with approximate heart rate. Now here, calculate the heart rate. Calculate the heart rate here. Who is going to calculate? Roll number 57. 57.
Yes, sir.
Now, can you calculate? This is for 10 seconds. So, first of all, you have to find out whether the heart rate is regular or irregular. Here, the heart rate is regular or irregular? Yes, 57.
Yes, sir.
Heart rate is regular or irregular? Regular means equal distances, but here you see the heart rate is irregular. So what you will do, you will count all the complexes in 10 seconds. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Yes, sir.
So 15 into
690.
6, 90. So this is approximate heart rate. Okay. So irregular QRS complexes in the above strip. So what you do using the first method to determine heart rate would not be accurate. That is, your method of rule of 300 cannot be applied here and rule of 1500 also cannot be applied because the RR interval is not fixed. So this rule of 1500 and 300 is cancelled. So you are left with the only method is rule of 10 seconds. This is rule of 10 seconds means in the rhythm strip available on the ECG is for 10 seconds. So you will multiply by 6. So 15 into 6 is 90 beats per minute. Now here, can you apply the rule of 10 seconds here? Yes or no? In between, what happens? You are sleeping. Okay, roll number 61.
Yes, sir.
Can you apply 10-second rule here? This is regular or irregular?
Regular, regular, sir.
Regular. So which method you will use? See, this is regular, but there are certain problems here. You see, this is P wave is present, and after that QRS should be there. P wave, QRS is there. P wave, QRS is there. But after that, you don't find any QR. The QRS complex is regular, and P waves are regular. So this is usually we call it as AV dissociation. So we will discuss this AV dissociation in the later time. But here you see the atrial rate is indicated by the P wave. So between two P waves, how many boxes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Around 5 boxes. So that comes out to be the rate 5 into 6 is, or what you will do? 5 into 6 or what you are going to do? 300 by 5 is how much? 60. So here you will do the rule of 300. Okay?
Yes.
So there are a total of 10 P waves on this strip. So the 10 into 6 is 60. So this is the rule of 10 seconds. So there are just more than 4 big boxes between each QRS complex. So we can say that ventricular rate is between 60 and 75. Okay. So this is how we come to calculate the heart rate. So how many methods you have? The rule of 300, rule of 1500, and then for irregular heart rates, you have rule of 10 seconds. Okay. So these are the easiest methods to know the heart rates, calculate the heart rate. Now, coming to the rhythm, how to determine rhythm? Okay. So to determine the heart's atrial and ventricular rhythms, we use either the paper and pencil method or the caliper method. So what is this paper and pencil method or the caliper method? So let us see. Now to find out the atrial rhythm, what we will do, first you have to measure the PP interval. The interval between your consecutive P waves is known as PP intervals. These intervals should occur regularly with small variations due to your respirations. So normally in sinus rhythm, we do not get any variations. Then compare the PP interval in several cycles. How to do this? So consistently similar PP intervals indicate regular atrial rhythm. Dissimilar PP intervals indicate irregular atrial rhythm. So similarly, the ventricular rhythm, to know the ventricular rhythm, you have to measure 2 consecutive R waves in a QRS complex. So if an R wave is not present, then you have to use the Q wave of consecutive QRS complexes. So if R wave is present, then you take the R wave. If R wave is not seen, look for Q wave. If it is present, then you take the 2 consecutive Q waves. The RR interval should occur regularly in a regular rhythm. Then compare RR intervals in several cycles. As with atrial rhythm, consistently similar intervals between a regular rhythm and in dissimilar intervals points to an irregular rhythm. So if the heart rhythm is regular, then you will find the interval is same in several cycles. Now, what you have to do whenever you see a ECG, you have to find out and ask yourself, how irregular is the rhythm? Is it slightly irregular or markedly so? That means slightly irregular means, is it sinus arrhythmia or not? Does the irregularity occur in a pattern? That means a regularly irregular pattern is seen in the ECG or not. So these things we will again further discuss when we discuss about the arrhythmias. Keep in mind that variation of up to 0.04 second are considered normal. That means one small box, small square is considered as normal. As I told you, there are two methods to find out the rhythm, paper and pencil method and caliper method. So let us see what is this paper and pencil method. So first of all, you have to place the ECG strip on a flat surface. Then position the straight edge of a piece of paper along the strip's baseline. You have to take a piece of paper and then position that ECG paper along the ECG strip. Move the paper up slightly so that straight is near the peak of the R wave. This you have to see. Okay, with a pencil mark the paper at R waves of 2 consecutive QRS complexes. So this is the RR interval. So I will show you an image. Next, move the paper across the strip, aligning the 2 marks with succeeding RR intervals. If the distance for each RR interval is the same, the ventricular rhythm is regular. Okay, otherwise it is irregular. Now you see how the paper is kept here. Now this is the ECG strip, and ask you to take a piece of paper. So that piece of paper should be taken to the tip of the R waves, and you mark with the pencil the tips where they are present. So like this here, then you will mark this here. Okay. So use the same method to measure the distance between the P waves. So P waves and determine whether the atrial rhythm is regular or irregular. You see, you take the pencil and paper mark here, then the next mark should be here. And you move this paper here and again keep it here. The earlier marks which you have put, they should coincide with these two RR waves. Okay? Okay. I assume you have understood. If you have not understood, then it has to be done only on the board. But I don't know whether I can show you or not. Anyway, just after 5 minutes, I will try to again explain you that. Okay. The caliper method, with the ECG on a flat surface, place one point of the caliper on the peak of the first R wave of 2 consecutive QRS complexes. Then adjust the caliper legs so the other point is on the peak of the next R wave as shown earlier. This distance is the RR interval. So similarly, the RR interval is again checked. So I will show you. Here also, ventricular rhythm, if all are same, then ventricular rhythm is regular, otherwise it is irregular. Okay, here you see how the caliper is kept. Caliper is kept at the tip of the R waves, and then this is fixed and this is taken to this place, and then you will see that the distance is same or not. If it is same, then it is regular. If it is not same, then it is irregular. Okay. So recognizing normal sinus rhythm. So before that, okay. I'll just show you after 5 minutes, few more slides, and after that again I will show you how to recognize paper and pencil method. Before you can recognize this arrhythmia, you should. Normal sinus rhythm records an impulse that starts in the sinus node and progresses to the ventricles through a normal conduction pathway, from the sinus node to the atria and AV node, through the bundle of his, then to the bundle of branches and to the Purkinje fibers. And finally, the normal sinus rhythm is the standard against which all other rhythms are compared. So what makes for normal? When we say normal, what does it mean? It means atrial and ventricular rhythms are regular. Atrial and ventricular rate falls between 60 and 100 beats per minute. And all impulses are conducted to the ventricles. That means the impulses which are generated in the sinus node are conducted to the ventricles. So the normal sinus rhythm, the atrial and ventricular rhythms are regular. A P wave precedes each QRS complex and each component of the ECG complex is present. So, the normal PR and QT intervals will be there. All QRS complexes similar in size and shape. So P waves are rounded, smooth and upright in lead 2, signaling that a sinus impulse has reached the atria. The PR interval is usually normal, that is 0.12 to 0.2 seconds. Then QRS complex is of normal duration, that is less than 0.12 seconds. And the T wave is upright in lead 2, confirming that normal repolarization has taken place. And QT interval is within normal limits, that is 0.36 to 0.44 seconds. So no ectopic or aberrant beats are seen. Okay. So this finishes the rate and rhythm. So as I said, I will show you. Roll number 70. Can you see? Can you hear me? Now, papers. Now, if you see, if you want to see this one, this is the ECG strip, and you have to put the paper here and then mark here and here. Then you take it to the other RRs. Suppose here is one R, and then it is here. Then you place it here, whether this is regular or irregular. That can be identified. Okay. So, you have any questions, anything to ask? Can you hear me? Roll number 55.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, any queries to ask?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Sir, want to ask you something. Please, yes.
Thank you, sir. How are you, friends? Good morning. How are you all doing? Yeah. I want to ask you one small thing, one basic question. This is for Chandan. Chandan is there? Hello, Chandan? Chandan is not there? Kirtan? Hello, Kirtan? Okay, roll number 3. Hello? Can you hear me? Roll number 3.
You unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Roll number 3.
Yes, sir.
Anjali ji, namaste. What's the expansion of word ECG or EKG?
Electrocardiography.
Electrocardiography. Sure. You want to make any correction or not?
Electrocardiogram.
Gram. Okay, good.
Gram.
It rhymes with telegram. Telegram is the paper reproduction, is it not? Just like that, electrocardiogram is the reproducible result of an electrical activity at the heart. It can be on a paper, a conventional one. Otherwise, when you are looking at the monitor, it comes as lines and waves. Okay. This is for roll number 8. Okay. What is the standard rhythm lead? Rhythm We take a long strip. What do you mean by a rhythm strip? Roll number 8.
8, you unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Lead 2, sir.
Pardon?
Lead 2.
Yeah, what's the purpose of it? Where do you resort to taking a graphic record of a rhythm strip? Is it a short one or in a same lead? Usually, as you said, it is a lead 2 conventionally. Where do you resort to a rhythm strip? Is it routine or not routinely done?
Can you hear or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
An answer.
Answer, please.
Because you are not seen here. So you have to answer. Either you know or you don't know.
Don't know, sir.
Don't know. Okay. Whenever you are given a ECG or an electrocardiogram, you are supposed to look at two things first. As Sir has mentioned earlier, one thing is the rate that is written at the bottom of the line. That's it. By convention, it's 25 millimeters per second. Okay? Okay?
Okay, sir.
Then the other thing you have to look into it, whether the recording is standardized or not. The standardization is important. What do you mean by standardization of an ECG recording? Because ECG records the electrical activity of the heart, okay, through leads. Okay, what do you mean by a standardized ECG? A well standardized ECG. Rule number 49. 49.
You unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yes. What do you mean by
Standardization.
standardization of an ECG?
I
Standardization
don't know.
I have not
Pardon?
described.
Okay, sir. Apart from the speed on the tracing of the tracing, the other thing you have to look, first thing is the standardization. By convention, if you throw 1 millivolt of current into the circuit, it causes a deflection of 10 millimeters, okay? The vertical lead is height, okay? That's voltage. Why this is important is, when you are recording the ECG, sometimes you'll be getting larger complexes, rather high all complexes. When you are getting it, sometimes the paper may not be adequate. Then you have to do the other thing. You have to correct it on your own. How can you correct it? Roll number 63. Can you hear me?
63.
63.
You unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yes. How do you make a correction for a tall complexes? Usually QRS complexes. Giving large tall complexes, you want to record it on a piece of paper or ECG. How do you do it? Amma, whenever you are doing it, what you have to do is you have to adjust at the level of the recording. This we call it as half standardization. Half standardization means instead of 1 millivolt giving 1 centimeter deflection, you go for 0.5 centimeters. This is known as half standardization. This is resorted to sometimes. Okay. Good luck. Thank you all. Bye.
Okay. If you have any questions, you can. We can discuss it on Tuesday again. Okay. Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. So with this, we finish the class. Thank you.